Born into slavery in 1839, Robert Smalls was a smart, rugged man determined to find a pathway to freedom. As a teenager, he worked as a rigger on ships before eventually becoming a sailor. In 1856, Smalls got married, started a family, and labored to try and buy freedom for himself, his wife, and his kids. But it wasn't easy or cheap. The cost was $800, or the equivalent of $23,000 today. After years of hard work, Robert Smalls had just saved $100. It would take him decades to afford his family's freedom. Like so many enslaved people, Smalls lived in constant fear that his family would be sold or separated. Once apart, most families never saw each other again. He knew the only way he could truly make sure his family stayed together was to escape slavery altogether. So, Robert Smalls hatched a plan to get him and his family to freedom. When the Civil War broke out in March of 1861, he finally saw his chance and decided to make his move. He got a job working as a deckhand on a Confederate steamship named the Planter that carried supplies between forts. Over the next few months, Smalls learned everything he possibly could about sailing the Planter and waited for the perfect chance to escape. Finally, his chance came on May 13, 1862. Just before dawn, Robert Smalls led 7 other men down to the docks, where they quietly stole the Planter while the slave owners slept. Over the next few hours, the team slowly but surely sailed the steamship to a pickup point, brought 8 more family members on board, then carefully worked their way through the heavily fortified harbor. The ship still needed to pass through 5 different Confederate checkpoints before they hit open water. If sentries at any of the fortifications or batteries realized something was amiss, they could easily destroy the Planter in seconds. Each checkpoint was a chance to get caught, but Robert Smalls took the risk. He gave the right secret signals to pass through safely each time. At last, Robert Smalls and his family entered the open ocean, free from Confederate control. The steamer sped straight toward the closest Union ship, taking down their Confederate flags as quickly as they could and hoisting a white bedsheet to signal surrender, before the ship fired on them thinking they were the enemy. Luckily, no shots were fired, and Robert Smalls and his family were able to join the Union ranks. Despite all the odds, they had managed to make it through the gauntlet all the way to freedom. In just under 4 hours, Robert Smalls had managed to commandeer a heavily armored Confederate steamer in the middle of the Civil War and deliver his family safely from slavery to freedom. Smalls was awarded $1,500 cash by the U.S. government for delivering an enemy ship full of Confederate documents in his daring escape. He went on to formally join the Union Army and carried out 17 missions for the U.S. After the war, Robert Smalls went on to do something that must have seemed unthinkable to him when he was a young man. He bought his former slave owner's home in Beaufort, South Carolina. He started a newspaper and opened a school for African American children before becoming a state senator in South Carolina. Smalls stayed active in politics and the community right up until his death in 1915 at the age of 75. A well-deserved happy ending for a man who defied every danger to deliver his family to freedom and managed to look pretty cool doing it.